That's Tanya for the day. Brief but powerful. The essence of Chassidus. We're back to. We spoke yesterday, if you recall, powerful ideas about Mashiach. Now, what is the essence of Mashiach? Is one word.
Yechida.
There you go, David. Yechida. Yechida. Who can explain that to me? A little more challenging question. Who can explain Yechida?
Oneness. It's a oneness.
Excellent. A oneness.
Uniqueness.
Uniqueness. Excellent. Right?
The essence.
It's the essence. Excellent. The essence of the soul, the essence of life. Excellent. Excellent. Who else?
Unlimitless.
Limitless, right? Excellent. All right. You guys are great.
I didn't hear the question. Yechida is what?
Well,
What was your question?
How do we understand it? How do we explain it? Right? So everybody
Explain what?
Yechida. So it's oneness, it is essence, it is the essential life force of the world. It is the essence of Mashiach is bringing into the world the essence of God's life-giving force, and that we experience it. Today we experience the extension of God's life energy into the world. Mashiach means we'll get the essence of that life force.
Plus, he will get everyone close to God, no? And it will be everything a unity.
Well, that is the consequence of this, right? That is the consequence. So remember, something that is essential is far and above its consequences, but are derivatives and consequences that come from it. So the fact that there will be no more famine, the fact that there will be no more wars, the fact that we will get closer to God, absolutely. How so? Because the essence of God's life force that animates the world will be revealed. Now what's revealed to us is merely the extension of God's life force. Is that clear? Does that make sense? Okay. Now, that being said, the essence of it, the consequence of it also, in other words, the fact that there will be no more famine, the fact that there will be no more death at one point, is again because the essence of the life force of God is revealed. So it directly will, or consequentially, will all of the qualities and of all of the explanations that we gave, that what God's name will be expressed rather than now it's only expressed the way it is read, not the way it's read, but the way we speak it, not the way it's written rather. All of that will be as a result. Now with this, we can go now and understand Chassidus, because remember Chassidus, the teachings of Chassidus is the tool or is the way that we'll get the ultimate reward of it, Mashiach. As we told in the story of the Baal Shem Tov, that he had the Aliyas and Neshama, his soul went up, and from his soul going up, Mashiach told him, disseminate your teachings, and that will bring the advent of Mashiach. And that's what we're doing right now. So, the same thing when it comes to Chassidus. Now we can know its essential nature. All of the innovations of Chassidus, what were the innovations that we gave in the first paragraph? One was that the esoteric part of Torah can now be revealed and understood. Another was that the service of man used to be based only on the letter of the law, but Chassidus brought people to go beyond the letter of the law, right? And that we can go beyond the letter of the law, and that we can not serve God based on our nature, but transcend our nature. And then finally, that the world was in a state of unconsciousness. The Baal Shem Tov came and he reawoke the world. All of those explanations are they're separate and unique, each one, but they are only derivatives of the essence of what Chassidus is. Chassidus is this new life force, this essential energy, which is called Yechida. Just like Mashiach has the soul of Yechida, Chassidus has the soul of Yechida in its teachings. In its teachings is Yechida, right? Pshat, as we explained, is Nefesh. Remez is Ruach, and so on and so forth, right? Until you come to the fifth level, Yechida, which is the essence, meaning it's an essential life force, an essential energy, as we call it, Yechida. When this was introduced, this new life force into the world, right, through the Baal Shem Tov, and then the Mezitcher Magid, and ultimately through the Alter Rebbe, who, interestingly enough, the Alter Rebbe, we know from the Baal Shem Tov that he is what? A new soul. A new soul that never came into the world before. The rest of us, we're reincarnated souls. We are souls that were here before, but not the Alter Rebbe. He's bringing a new life force into the world. His soul was a new soul that never came. We know that because of the Baal Shem Tov, who they share the same birthday, Chai Elul, in 1745 when the Alter Rebbe was born. Baal Shem Tov was celebrating his 47th birthday on that day. He took his Chassidim out and they made a fabringen. They said L'chaim, and he said, a new soul has entered into this world today. He didn't know in a physical sense of the Alter Rebbe's birth on that day. But of course, he's the Baal Shem Tov, so he's privy to what was going on upstairs. And that upstairs was coming downstairs. The soul of the Alter Rebbe was coming down. So this new soul was in order to bring a new life force into this world. What kind of a life force? Essential life force. Right? And that with that new essential life force gave way that we could live more essentially as a result. And what does that essential life force ultimately do besides being this new essential life force? It also infuses all of the other areas of Jewish teachings. In other words, Chassidus isn't just this new energy that is separate from all of the other Torah teachings and divine energies and light that pre-existed and continue to exist. What is it? It's revitalizing those areas of Torah also. In other words, Chassidus isn't just like a new brand. It's a new brand, but it is an essential brand that now touches all the other old brands. And what does it do? Give it new life. So Chassidus will give new life, as we'll explain in a moment. We need a metaphor for this. And with this, do some reading inside. Oops. Sorry. Okay. Well, let us share the screen. Okay, this is chapter 7. For the same reason that it is the essence of life force, Chassidus is compared to oil, which represents the secrets of secrets. By the way, what represents secrets? Anybody know? What represents secrets? Wine, yayin. Yayin is the numeric value of yud, 10, 10, nun, 50, 70. Sod, secrets, is the numeric value of samach, 60, vav, 6, daled, 4, 70. Wine has secrets, represents secrets, right? That's why when wine enters, the secrets of a person get revealed. You drink a lot of wine, Purim's coming, you're gonna drink a lot of wine, the secrets are gonna come out, right? That's what wine represents. Secrets, though, sod is the fourth level, the transcendent, but not essence, right? In the grape, there's a secret in there. What is it? Held inside there is the power of wine. You have to squeeze it in order to bring it out, the wine that's there. That's the secrets. Oil, though, is the secrets of secrets. What does it mean, the secret of secrets? I mean, just a bigger secret? Is that what it means? No. It's of essence. It's beyond. Because secrets means secrets not to be revealed. Secrets of secrets is beyond not being revealed because it's of essence and therefore ultimately is to be revealed everywhere, as essence is to be found everywhere, right? Where is the essence of you, Lily? Where is it? Is it here on your head? Where is your essence?
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Inside, outside, it's all of me.
It's all of you. The essence is found everywhere. Exactly. Right, as the famous story with the Tzemach Tzedek, is a little boy sitting on the lap of the Alter Rebbe, and the Alter Rebbe said, "Where is Zaydi? Who is Zaydi?" It's pointed to his beard. So no, that's his beard, his head. That's his head. So he got off of his lap, went to the door, and as he was turning the door, he said, "Zaydi," and instead he turned around. He said, there's Zaydi. His entirety was there in that move. So his entire essence moved, not just a part of him was moved. So this is oil. Oil is secrets of secrets, right? But because we have no other words, it means essence. Now, why is oil a metaphor for essence?
Because it's the essence of the zait, of the olive.
Well, so the essence of oil of wine is in the grape. That's not, that it's correct what you're saying, but that's only then a secret, not a secret of secrets. Why? Because there's essence has a paradox to it. On the one hand, actually before. So on the one hand, essence means it's above and beyond everything, right? It's the essence of it. So it's nondescript, it's infinite, it doesn't have parameters, right? On the other hand, what does it do? It's found in everything. Like the essence of me is found in every part of me. But you can't say the essence of me is my hand, is my kindness that I extend with my hand. That's not the essence. That's a revelation. That's an aspect of me. That's a quality, right? But the essence is still found there. It's still found there because it's everywhere. So likewise, oil. Oil has a unique quality. On the one hand, when you put oil in water, what happens? Rises to the top. It separates. It doesn't mix. It's beyond. On the other hand, oil, when you put it into food, it cooks into it and becomes part and parcel of the food that it's cooked into. That's the metaphor. Let's read inside. Oil symbolizes the distilled essence of everything. Hence, it necessarily possesses the following two characteristics. On the one hand, it is itself distinct and separate from everything. For were it to be bound to any one particular thing, it could not then be essential aspect of everything. And yet at the same time, because it is essence, it must also pervade and be found within everything. For the essence, by definition, exists and is found everywhere. So oil, on the one hand, floats on the water, separate, above, beyond, right? And the other hand, take that same oil and put it into your tuna patties and make a tuna patty, or put it into your latke, into your potatoes. You make a latke, right? It cooks into it and becomes part and parcel of what it's cooked into. Not separate. Before in the water, it was separate because the essence is beyond. But then when it cooks into it, becomes part of it as of it. Is that idea clear? Yeah? We're good? Thumbs up? Okay, let's continue. This concept, as we read over here, one sec. This concept, like all matters pertaining to the inner Torah, is also expressed in the revealed Torah, even in an actual halacha, a practical law. On the one hand, oil does not mix with any liquids, and conversely, it penetrates into all matter. So they're just speaking in different issue about in halacha. And thus, Chassidus is likened to oil. Why? For it also possesses these two properties. By virtue of its nature as essence, it does not mix with any other thing. It is the essential core of the life force, higher than any radiation or reflection. And on the other hand, Chassidus diffuses into and permeates every single thing as explained above. Okay, those are highfalutin words. What does that mean? Does that mean anything to anybody? Sorry for the challenge. It means like this. It means like this. Follow. We're going to have an example. We're going to be starting soon an example, so then it'll become very clear, the idea. Chassidus, we said, is the yechida. It is the essential life force of Torah teachings, right? What does that mean? It means that it is a part beyond in its understanding. It gives you the essential understanding of something. And at the same time, what does it do? It doesn't remove itself from all other areas of teachings. It actually, as oil penetrates the cooked food and becomes a part of it, it will now give life, new life, essential life to all of the other teachings. In other words, you know what quite often happens when we study Torah? We study and it's a very nice idea. Beautiful. But without it, you could also live. Without it, you could also live. That's not essential. That's not essential. When you have the essential understanding of something, and then you bring it into that simple explanation or that hinted or that homiletic or that esoteric idea, now it's infused with essential life, that explanation becomes essential. It's no longer just a nice idea, but it's essential to life. Where do we experience this, folks? We have this for those who are with me every day in Tanya. There is not a single day that we learn Tanya. And it is not an essential teachings that is being expressed that are crucial. Now, sometimes it might speak to us one day more than another, like today's class, right? Maybe it speaks to us more. That's only because of where we're at and because what we're struggling with. So maybe this talks to me more, right? But if we were to understand the concept that we're learning, we would say, no. This concept is essential. It's not, it's not a nice idea, but only a prelude to a better idea. No, it's an essential idea. That's what Chassidus does. And that's what we're privy to every day when we learn Tanya. So the Rebbe continues over here and says, so what we just finished saying is that Chassidus is the essential life force that gives then an essential understanding that then permeates and cooks in to all the other areas and then makes them also, when you understand it based on the essential teaching, also an essential, necessary, life-giving teaching, ultimately. So now we're going to give this, the Alter Rebbe is going to give us an example of this idea. Let me bring over here. In, one sec. Here, okay. An analogy to this concept of an additional illumination and vitality of the revealed part of the Torah and a practical law is as follows. So he's going to give an example of something that is essential, of essence, and at the same time affects and permeates the everything else. What is that? Yom Kippur. The entire service of Yom Kippur is only acceptable when done by him, the high priest. In other words, the essential, Yom Kippur is an essential day, right? It's called the Shabbos of Shabbos, Shabbat Shabbaton, right? It is done by the highest and most sublime individual, the high priest, Kohen Gadol. In the same manner that the holiness of Yom Kippur is effective for the special services of Yom Kippur, right? That, in other words, the services of Yom Kippur affect an essential atonement of that day. It also affects the daily and extra Shabbos sacrifices that are in themselves connected to all the regular days of the year. They too become sanctified through the sanctity of Yom Kippur. So what he's bringing out over here is the idea is that Yom Kippur, how do we look at it? It looks as the day of the year, the holiest day of the year. In other words, it's like the oil that is way above, right? So we would think that Yom Kippur then is that day that's way above, and it's a day to itself. No, being that it's an essential day, its offerings and its divine service actually affects every Shabbos and the offerings on those days. And then through Shabbos, all of the weekday. In other words, Yom Kippur is in effect permeating the entire year. It's in permeating the entire year. That is a metaphor that he's giving over here. So he concludes, the same is true of Chassidus, the Shabbat Shabbaton of Torah. In other words, it's the essence of Torah, right? Just like Yom Kippur, the essence of, so to speak, the essential day of the year. It is likewise affects and influences all parts of Torah. For the 4 parts of Pardes are the 4 levels of Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya of Torah, right? Which is the simple meaning, hinted meaning, and homiletic and esoteric meaning. So the Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and the Chassidus of the Torah's Yechida, and the manifestation, the revelation of Yechida, elevates all of the other 4 levels in Ran Chai, as explained above. So let me just repeat that to make sure we have a clarity. Welcome, Katie. Thank you for joining. So oil, just as Yom Kippur is like the oils the year, right? Oils the year in the sense that it is the day of the year, the essential day. It's done by the essential person, the high priest, right? At the same time, it influences all of the rest of the days of the year, right? Same thing as Chassidus. It is the Shabbat Shabbaton of Torah, right? As Yom Kippur is the Shabbat Shabbaton of the year, and it affects and influences all of the other areas of Torah, and gives it an essential value, an essential understanding, essential life. That's okay. Now, where we're going from here, and we're going to start, but I think we'll start tomorrow. I'm not certain. I just have to double check. Is we're going to go and now make all of this kind of abstract idea and bring it down into real life. We're going to start with a prayer, one prayer that we all know, the Modani. And then I was going to explain why we're going to start with Modani. And what we're going to do is explain it on 4 different levels, as Torah explains it. And then we're going to explain what Chassidus explains it. And we're going to see how Chassidus will be an essential understanding, while the other explanations are, as we understand them initially, non-essential. Important, but not essential, right? Old Torah is important, right? But doesn't make it essential. Once we understand the Hasidic approach to it, then we will infuse it into the other areas. Just oil permeates into everything. The essence is found everywhere, and it will give a new life to that teachings that was always there in Jewish law, in the Talmud, in Halacha, but was always, a nice explanation. Something that's, it's part of Torah, so we need to know, but not necessarily essential. Then we will see how it's permeated, and oh my gosh, this is an essential understanding. And then we will see that all of the explanations are not really like, sometimes you get an explanation and it's on that wall. Then you get another explanation, it's on a different wall. And the walls don't connect because it's east wall and west wall, the west side, they're really, they don't connect unless you have the south and north walls, right? So avant mit avant, it's a klappt nicht, right? And then all of a sudden you see, oh my gosh, it's really branches of the same tree. That's all it is. That's where we're going, God willing. But for that, we're going to have to wait. Tomorrow she's another day. Any questions? Any comments?
Rabbi, so we say Chassidus is the essence of Torah. It makes a lot of sense to me. But I remember there's a mimer from the Rebbe. He says why the Torah was started with Beis and not with Aleph. So he says because there's before the Torah, there's the Derech Eretz, no? And we know it. It's a Mishnah. Derech Eretz katma la Torah.
Actually, no, you're quoting a little off. Yeah, you're correct. No, there before you sit and learn, you have to have an awareness of the holiness of Torah.
Exactly. So isn't it like that also an essential thing? I just was wondering this because when you say about the essence of Torah, I remember a little bit of this mimer. How would it work?
After we finish this, we'll learn that.
Beautiful.
Okay, because it's funny that you mentioned it. While I was teaching this, I was thinking about that teachings. When I was saying branches of the same tree is exactly, this idea. The Rebbe brings from the Zohar, he brings from a Medrash, different explanation why Torah starts with a base. And they don't seem to have any relationship or connection with each other. And then once you have the essential understanding, then you see that each one of them is just expressing a different side of the tree, a different aspect of a different branch, to give us a more fuller understanding of the essential teachings. But we'll get there. But thank you for bringing that up.
Beautiful. Yeah, Rabbi. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? To be continued. So it was a little abstract today. And the truth is, when you speak about the word essence and revelation, right, you're going to get a challenge because, again, we relate on a very superficial level of, five senses and what we, and what we think we know of the person, right, or of the situation. But to connect to the essence of something or a person, that's a bigger challenge. And that's why the teachings of Chassidus are so crucial, because then we can experience everything on that essential level, on that deeper, more profound, and not diminishing the revealed. It's not diminishing it, but it will enhance it so much more so, because we'll be able to experience that revealed level on a much more essential, platform, much more, gahibene, uplifted manner, and not be then drawn down and being really, brought sometimes into, negative, bad places. All right.
Thank
Tonight,
you.
so tonight, some of you are going to be joining me for also some's going to be of essential, the journey
Will it
of
be
the soul,
taped? Will it be taped?
with God's help.
Is it taped in case I miss it for the?
Yes. Yeah, it'll be taped. All right, folks. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You as well, Rabbi. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.